What's going on YouTube? Joe Miner 3131 back again alongside JS Miner 87 here on the DFS Quarry channel on YouTube. We are about to break down the small 5-game slate for Friday, November 30th, 2018. Again, 5 games on the main slate here. The games start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jared, how you doing tonight? Lineup's pretty mediocre, huh?
Oh, I bet the dust. I thought the Rangers were going to pour it on a struggling Ottawa team, and well, hey, I mean, what is it? Was it Craig Anderson or their backup there? Maybe it wasn't even Craig Anderson. They came to play, so you'll have those days. $2 down the drain. We'll keep on moving on to the next game. I didn't really have time to research as much as I normally do. Like you said, hockey game last night, I was telling you, took a damn puck right to the calf. Them shin guards don't go around to the calf muscle, so she's bruised pretty good. But, hey, team tells me it was going in if not for my calf being there. So good goalie save on my part. So that makes me feel better.
I know I'll speak for a Raiders fan on this one. At least we're going to be able to see some black and blue marks, man.
I could tweet them out.
That's all right, though. At least you took one for the home team. It's about time you did something like that. Glad to see you're donating some money to the contest winner this week. That's good, too. But with that being said, everybody, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at JoeMiner3131. Follow Jared at JSMiner87. Follow the channel at DFS Quarry. And one last thing to touch base on. Again, to remind everybody, we are running, as soon as we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to hold a contest, give away a free NHL hat of the winner's choice. We're not going to do that until we hit that 100 mark. So with that being said, make sure you guys are sharing the videos, getting our name out there for us. Make sure you click those thumbs up because that'll bring us up as far as searches go on YouTube. Try to get some more subscribers in there so we can go ahead and, you know what I mean, do that contest and hopefully give someone a half-decent hat, man. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this nice little short 5-game slate here and break this down real quick. And I hit some picks last night, man, doing the solo show. The problem was I didn't play any of those picks. So I donated pretty much all night too. I mean, I may be able to squeak one out here in the end. If anything brings me out of it, I hate to say this, but if anything will pull me out of the hole tonight, it's going to be my NBA lineup. So let's hope so. Why not? You know what I mean? But let's jump into the slate here. New Jersey Devils heading into Washington to take on the Washington Capitals. The Capitals are a -175 home favorite. We have an over-under of 6 in this game. Touch base again. We're using left wing lock for our goalie projections here as far as starters go. This is an old projection. They have Corey Schneider projected to take on Braden Holtby. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Holtby. That's who I'm planning on it being, Holtby for Washington. But I think it'll be Kincaid, not Schneider. What do you like here in this game, Jared?
Yeah. What is this? Is this one? One of these games had the goalie update from months and months ago, and it ruins me every time. But well, New Jersey continues to cement themselves worse and worse as an away team. They are now dead last by far. 12 games on the road they've played. They are 2-9-1 for a total of 5 points. Giving up 4.2 goals per game. some of my takeaways for the game. That was one of them. New Jersey being the worst on the play. A couple takeaways. I like I was telling you, I went through and kind of looked at who scored for against the New Jersey Devils for the past 5 games, and I told you they were second liners had scored 10 goals of their 17. So trouble with the second line there. The only lacking stat I like I said is I don't know if they were power play related or if shorthanded or anything like that. I was looking at strictly the goal scorer. So that being said, I think you do take a look at this second line that they score goals. You know what? I'm looking at both this first and second line here for the Capitals. I might throw in Ovechkin and then pair him up with maybe well, let's go see who on the second line is also sharing time in that power play. Ovechkin and maybe Lars Eller. So you could probably run Lars Eller at that center spot, run Ovechkin, and run Tom Wilson. That would be my combo. So get those 2 wingers and then run Lars Eller on that second line that also gets first power play time. That's the play I'm probably going to take. Now, the Braden Holtby's in play here for cash games for sure for the win. And you know what? He's probably not ruled out either for a GPP play too. Because, I mean, New Jersey shoots. When I look here at New Jersey, I'm going to go down to their defensive pairing and who has shots and who has produced on those shots. And I think you can take a look at Andy Green or Severson. I'm probably more of a fan on Severson than Andy Green. But if you even wanted to take a chance of what defenseman shoots on this power play, you might look at Will Butcher here at 3,800. As like I said, Washington's given up 4 goals to defensemen in the last 5 games. I'd rather take a chance on a cheap defenseman that gets power play time. Washington at home, they have the 23rd best penalty kill, taking 3.58 penalties a game. So New Jersey is going to see some penalty or some power play time for sure in tomorrow's game. And you could take a chance, get a 3,800 and get some production by Will Butcher there on that first power play. But I'm not taking anyone else but Will Butcher on that one.
Oh, sorry about that. I was commenting to Cole there, who seems to change his name quite often there. He was saying his daughter changes his name on the YouTube channel there. But he's in there now, rocking right now is Army Forever. I don't mind that either. Go ahead, Cole. It's all right. This game for me, as I look at it here, just basic stats. Kind of quick way I break this down. I like to start by looking at team stats, right? And what do we need to win DFS contest? We need goals. That's what we need. So let's start looking at the goals, right? Over the past 10 games, New Jersey scored 26 goals, right? They've given up 33. Washington, over the last 10 games, have scored 32 goals. They've given up 24. Now, might not seem like much as far as stats goes. So we got Washington's averaging 3.2 goals a game. Jersey's averaging 2.6 goals a game over the last 10 games. But what I want to say about this is I glance on here and I look at this, right? For tomorrow's slate, I got 2 teams giving up goals in the red, right? Red is no good. One is the Florida Panthers. Secondly is the New Jersey Devils. They're giving up 3.3 goals a game. That's the second most on the slate, right? Washington's in a good spot, guys. Real quick and simple, just to look at it like that, if you just look at those 2 basic numbers, boom, immediately, we're thinking Washington's in a better spot. They're pretty much right on par, averaging scoring 3.2 goals a game. Devils are giving up 3.3 goals a game. So I'm thinking Washington's in line for at least 3 goals, right? They're playing pretty well defensively. So Schneider or Kincaid, whoever's in the net, forget it. I don't want no part of them. Give me a little bit of Holtby. Got interest in Holtby. The touch base on New Jersey, just a little bit. Give you a quick talk about them. It's the top line: Taylor Hall, Nico Hischier, or Jesper Bratt. And it looks like they bumped Palmieri down, try to kickstart that second line a little bit, which they are scoring goals. So Pavel Zacha, Palmieri, Johansson, if you want to play them, I wouldn't talk you off of them. Blake Coleman is shooting the puck a lot. I don't know if he was always on that third line with Zajac or what they're doing there. Defensively, I guess Andy Green, Severson's, they're about the same play, to be honest with you, between Andy Green and Severson. Vatanen, I'm sure, will score a goal against his own goalie. Will Butcher, I guess, is being played. I'm not on New Jersey here. You won't catch me playing them tomorrow at all. I'm on the Washington side. I think Washington is coming around here, and I look for Washington to slap New Jersey right in the mouth, to be honest with you. So, give me some Washington here, okay? Ovechkin, as soon as I get his price pulled up here, I'm sure will be more expensive than I want to pay for him, but he's always more expensive than I want to pay for him. Justin made a comment in there that he would never play Tom Wilson if he's the last winger left. Guess what, buddy? If the contest says you have to play a winger and he's the only winger left, you can't play the contest unless you play him. So you would play him. Get out of here. Tom Wilson's a good guy. You're just pissed off because he's stronger than everybody else. He knocks the living shit out of people, and he plays hockey the way it was meant to be played. Spitting your teeth out, spitting blood out, coming off, getting 25, 30 stitches across your forehead, and heading back into the game. That's how it's supposed to be played. Go ahead, Tom Wilson. I got your back, buddy. Let's see if you can't drag out another 20-game suspension here. Just make sure it's not a Pens player this time, bud. You go back and who was it? He pounded this year? Sundqvist, right? Oscar Sundqvist from St. Louis, man. That's who it was, right? Pounded the piss out of him. Where'd he go, Wilson? Headhunting is hockey. It always was. You know what I mean? It could still be playing without helmets. At least they got that. Anyway, give me all Washington. I want the top line, and give me some Tom Wilson. 5 goals, 4 assists, 16 shots, 5 blocks, 2 power play points out over the last 5 games. Let me just tell you that right there. That's what I like to call production. That is called production. If you're going to play them, let's play some Tom Wilson here, man. We're not out to be fans of players here, man. We don't give a rat's ass. Take the name off of it, right? You get rid of that name. We'll call him Joe Bob, right? Instead of Tom Wilson. If Joe Bob is sitting there with those kind of stats and you're looking at those numbers at a first glance, you know what you're telling me? Joe Bob's in play. Not because his name is Joe Bob or not because his name is Tom Wilson. Fact of the matter is, those numbers mean he's in play, period. So, Ovechkin, Backstrom, Markstrom, all in play. Don't want no Verana in this one. Give me a little taste of maybe Lars Eller. Conley, no. And that's it. I'm really interested in those 4. Ovechkin, Backstrom, Wilson, Eller. As far as forwards go. Defensively, yeah, John Carlson's always in play. He's pricey, but it don't matter. 6,600. Dmitry Orlov at 3,700. Maybe. Niskanen, no. Yeah, Niskanen's in play at 4,400, I guess. So is Kepney. Kepney is really nice at 4,300, so I'm going to take that. And I like I said, I want some Holtby. I like the Washington side here, and just so you guys know, everybody out there, I'm just busting Justin's balls. We just look at things a little differently as far as that goes. I'm a fan of old school type sports. Justin worries about head injuries, stuff like that. He likes prolonged players' careers, this, that, and the other thing. And I don't disagree with him. I'm all about that. But let's also not get it twisted here, man. We're raising a bunch of wussies anymore, you know, a bunch of pansies who you know what I mean? They're just afraid of everything. Man, no. Come on, guys. We all know we like to watch hockey for the hits and the fights and shit. Man, there's nothing better than to go, for me, up to Wilkes-Barre, you know, and check out the Wilkes-Barre baby pens and get to see two or three fist fights in a game. Oh, it's awesome. For $25, man. Best time ever, man. Let's not get rid of that. I like good, strong, solid, knock your teeth out kind of hockey, man. I like them old school teams where they smile, right? And you got 10 teeth between the whole team. That's what I'm talking about. I like that kind of shit. That's my rant for the day. I promise I'm done with it. Next game up on the slate, Buffalo Sabres heading into Florida to take on the Florida Panthers. And somehow, shockingly, the Florida Panthers are a minus 155 home favorite here. Not deserving of that minus 155 home favorite. 6 over-under in this game. Looks like we're going to have Ullmark and Reamer. And as long as the Pens don't magically pop up on the screen, I won't have anything else to rant about anyway. Jerry, what do you like in this one?
Huh? You know, at first glance, I was looking, and as we know with Florida, it seems like the NHL didn't want them to play on home ice really very much. They're a few games behind everyone else on home ice. So we got Florida. Does at least draw a lot of penalties. Maybe they're not converting. 19th conversion, but they do draw 3.9 injury power penalties a game. So that gives them a good bit of power plays, almost 4 power plays a game. So I'm going to look there. Buffalo's win streak, like we said, it's coming close to maybe it's over. So, you know, everyone's going to start that question once it's happened. And I listened to an NHL podcast today on finally TuneIn Radio has one that like at noon. It must be on the NHL network too. And they were saying, like, I can't wait to see what Buffalo does when the win streak's over. Like, how are they going to respond? Are they going to bounce back with a win right away? Are they going to lose a couple and kind of unravel a little bit? Listen, let's not get it twisted. You and I have discussed this several times off the video for the past maybe week, where they've lucked out how many times. They're not winning by mega goals. They win by 1-goal games. Overtimes have been the reason for several of those wins. I'm not sold yet on Buffalo. Could they make a run? Sure. But I'm not sold on them. So that's my game stat here. I got Buffalo, looking at it, is giving up some first line goals here. Looks like they gave up 7 goals to first liners over the past 5 compared to looks like 3 goals against second liners and 2 goals against third liners, with no goals given up to the fourth line or any defenseman in the past 5 games for Buffalo. So I'm going to take those stats. I'm going to run with them. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? It's a strategy, right? Might win tomorrow, might not, but it's a strategy. I'm going to take those odds in 5 games to say, this first line of Florida, they can score. I'm going to maybe just do the power play stack because they're getting 4 chances a game. Buffalo on the way ice here, 12th best power play, taking 3.31. And I'll take those chances. So you give me who we got. So we got Dadonov, Barkov, and Hoffman on that first line. Dadonov, Barkov, and Hoffman on that first power play. They're all in play right there, and that's the stack. That's probably between that and Washington is going to be my stack I'm going to run for tomorrow, to be honest with you guys. Plus, I don't know if Ullmark's in a favorable spot here. Now, I'm not going to take defense from this game because, aside from Ekblad, which I was on for a little while, I'm not on the Yandle train anymore. They raised his price so high that you don't even want any part of them. Matheson, we've discussed at ease. I think if you're going to pay the $4,300 for Matheson, you might as well pay the extra $400 and just get Ekblad at $4,700. I know you've brought up Mark Pisk at $2,600. I guess if you're throwing some coins around and you're down to the wire, maybe. But not a defensive play for me. And Buffalo, listen, Buffalo's in play. Even if you wanted to grab one person from this here, Florida gives up goals, and in strong fashion. What do I got here? My numbers show 6, 11, 15, 18, 22 goals given up over 5 games for Florida. What is that an average? A little over four a game. So they're gonna score on Reimer for sure. If I'm thinking that way, you got Ristolainen on that first defensive unit there. Had a goal tonight. You got Sam Reinhart, 5,100. He had a goal tonight. Even if you want, guys, listen, 2,600 on this second line for Boston, left wing. Tage Thompson scored again tonight. So you add that stat in. The dude's got 4 goals, 1 assist, 12 shots, I guess you'd call it, 2 blocks in the past 5 games. Tage Thompson might be your play to get in on a little bit of Buffalo. And like you said, he's drawing some power play time. Let's see, where do they got him at? Tage Thompson's on that second power play unit with Casey Middlestat. Listen, that's a play. That's a play. Now, if you want a game script that Buffalo's going to come out on top against a terrible James Reimer, who's already been confirmed in net, listen, the first line's in play too, because look at the shot production you're getting from Eichel. You get some shot production from Skinner, and Reinhardt's right there. Reinhardt's really come strong over this streak too. He wasn't always first line. They've moved him up over the course of the streak. So if you game script it that way, you can take him. I'm not game scripting. I got Florida winning this, probably causing Buffalo's first losing streak in a while. That's my game script, so that's why I'm taking the Florida side. But like I said, even Ristolainen, if you wanted to one-off him as a defenseman using the my game script method and believe my game script's right, he's in play. Goalie-wise, I don't want a goalie from this game.
Yeah. I don't know. Might be just a shade on the expensive side to try to game stack it up here, man. But I think you can do it. Here's what I think I want to do with this game. I want to play both sides. I don't want a goalie. Obviously, for Buffalo, the top line's also in play. I mean, Skinner, Eichel, and Sam Reinhart are great. They're great players. They deserve everything, but that's not where I want to go in this game. What I want to do in this game is I want to run the 3-man of Tage Thompson, Casey Middlestat, Kyle Okposo, something like that. I want to run it against something from Florida, but that's where I'm at. The top 6 really is in play, but I like Thompson, Middlestat, Okposo. Defensively, these guys are pretty good. I don't want to pay $5,300 for Ristolainen, though. $4,100 for Dahlin. Yeah, I'd pay that for Dahlin. Bogosian, I like that at $3,900 also. So that would all be fine. But I got major interest in the second line from Buffalo. Thompson, Middlestat, Okposo. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll bounce over, take a look at Florida here. Florida, by the way, over the last 10 is giving up the most goals per game. So that's why I got to kind of you got to kind of have interest in Buffalo because of that. Just because Florida gives up the goals, you know what I mean? And I believe it was confirmed to be Reimer too, So whatever. So line 1 of Florida. That's what I want to run it back with. So if I run line 2 Buffalo, run it back with line 1 from Florida, Dadnoff, Barkov, and Hoffman, I think I could fit that in because line 2 from Buffalo is relatively cheap. The only other person I have interest in from Florida would be Jonathan Huberdeau as far as a forward goes. And defensively, I played Michael Matheson the last game out. He's cheap, 4,300. Keith Yandel at 5,400. 4 power play points over the last 5 games, so you can't ignore that. He is shooting, has 4 assists, so let's not ignore Keith Yandel at 5,400. Not sure I'm going to get there just because salaries might come into play there a little bit to get to Keith Yandel, but we'll see. Mark Pisk, he's just cheap, man. 2,600. He's just so extremely cheap. Like I said, no goalies here. For me, the whole game, and I'm not just saying this, for the whole game, I like the Dadnoff, Barkov, Hoffman line pair, the 3-man line stack, line 1 from Florida, going up against the second line 3-man line stack of Buffalo, which is Okposo, Casey Middlestat, and Tage Thompson. I like that. It's a tough game, so you gotta pick your poison, I think, and make a stand, man. You're either gonna game, one of 3 ways. You're gonna game script this for Buffalo to win. You're gonna game script it for Florida to win, or you're just gonna play the whole damn thing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm playing the whole damn thing. So that's how I'm doing it. Good luck to your Cowboys, Mitch. Just so you know, I'm a Cowboys hater. But that's it. That's all I got for this game. You want to move into the boring game?
Yes, sir.
Boring game on the slate. Anaheim Ducks heading into Carolina to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. I almost said Panthers there because Mitch talking about some football. We have Carolina as a -165 home favorite, 5.5 over/under in this game. And Jared, I'm with you on this one. This could really go way under the 5.5. What do you like here?
Well, I don't know if it's my daily face-off screwing up or not, but they got Jordan Stahl center in both the first and second lines. That's going to be some major ice time. You might want to play him. But no, I guess now it's drawing me off guard. Who is the first line center for him? I'll tell you what, though. The other day, Anaheim, literally, I can't remember who they played.
First line center is Aho, isn't it?
Yeah, Aho.
Yeah, Sebastian Aho.
Oh, they got him on left wing here. First line left wing online.
Okay. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll bounce over and see what.
But they had Getzlaf the other day just paired straight up against another first liner. I can't remember who they were playing the other night. They won. Oh, it was maybe it was the Tampa Bay game or something. But they literally run Getzlaf against. It seems like they run him strictly against first line, and he smothers the opposing center. That being said, the first line center at least is out of play for Carolina. I'm not going to be beat around the bush. I think we draw minimal interest in this game all around the board. I like –
Timeout. Not to interrupt you. Confirmation, just so you know what I'm looking at when I'm looking at left wing lock here. Left wing lock is showing Fogle, Stahl, and Williams on the top line, with Michael Ferland left wing, second line, Sebastian Aho center in the second line, and Teuvo Teravainen on the right wing.
Definitely a difference there. You're gonna. I mean, I'd recommend everyone to make sure they got that up to date because I got Furlan and Fogel on the fourth line on daily faceoff. So I mean, they're definitely different stories. But anyway, let's get over it. I mean, like I said, I don't like a first line here if they're going to pair Getzlaf against this Carolina first line. Anaheim statistically, and for the past 5, has given up goals against the second and third line. So you could, I guess, one off Lucas Wallmark or Martin or Jordan Martinook. You've, pretty fair production from that third line. If you'd want. If you'd want just a one-off from this game, and I'd recommend anyone to one-off it. Don't. And in GPP, I guess you could throw a quarter and hope that this game goes haywire, but I'm not on the board. I mean, me and you talked about it. We got a 3-goal kind of script for this, a 2-1 game, maybe even overtime. If I'm looking at anyone in Anaheim, I'm going right back to this second line of Nick Ritchie, Adam Henrique, and Andre Case. Nick Ritchie with 2 goals the other night. Great production. Henrique getting on the board as well. I like that stat. Manson, goals in the past 2 games. Perhaps another goals in order for him tomorrow at 3,500. I'd be okay to take a chance there. Anaheim's given up 2 goals of defensemen in the past 5. Brandon Montour, his numbers are certainly coming down, but so did his price tag to 4,000. I think he could be a play as well. Like I said, Gibson still in play here. You go over to Carolina. I still think that McElhaney is also in play here. McElhaney's stats are just been unbelievable. 4.00, 1.25, 0.967. Goalie's probably the best thing to get out of this game, to be honest with you. And McElhaney is going to come in at 7,700 if he's confirmed to start. 7,600 for Gibson. So, and I'd like to know Carolina's goals over the past 10. If you got that information, Joe, and you could take it away. Looking at team stats on the year for Carolina, they're putting up 2.7, so it's not much. So I think both goalies could be in play, however you script it.
Would you say 2.7 per game for Carolina?
Yeah, I think that was the home stat.
It's pretty much on. It's pretty much on par. Over the last 10, I'm showing 2.6 goals a game for, and it looks like they're giving up about 2.5 goals a game. Over the last 10.
Yeah, so definitely goalies are in play.
Yeah. You have anything else? Do you want me to take over?
Go ahead and take over.
I totally agree with you. I think you got to keep both goalies on the slate or on your sheet here yet. Don't get rid of them, especially with Carolina making a move they did today, throwing Scott Darling out there on waivers, and Carolina making a stand, deciding to go with McElhaney and Pete Mrazek the rest of the way here. I don't blame them. It's just crazy because I also heard that, Scott Darling is still owed something like a little over $10 million yet on his contract. And they actually have a pretty young goalie that they're trying to get ready to come up within the next few years. So Darling is actually going to go down to the checkers and not play. He's going to go ride around on a bus knowing he's owed $10 million and hang out with a bunch of kids. It's sad. And, man, what a fall from greatness, right? Darling signed that good contract in Chicago, coming over here, and it just collapsing right in front of his face. Pathetic. But with that being said, I do like some Gibson. I do like some McElhaney. And, again, just looking at the goals over the past 10 games, Anaheim has scored about 2 goals a game. They're giving up about 2.9 over the last 10. They played better, as we know, over the past few games here. Since they went on the road trip. But I don't even know how to script this game out. I think this game could go either way real quick, and I don't see it going over 3, maybe 4 goals. So I think a 2-1 game, maybe a 3-1 game with an empty netter late could happen. So if you like Anaheim, play the scores. You know what I mean? Raquel Getzlaf, Silverberg, maybe some Nick Ritchie, some Adam Henrique, Andre Case would be fine. Do not play Ryan Kessler. It's been like, I think, 18 games in a row now without a goal, something like that. I think I heard that today on Ryan Kessler. I think it's 18 goals or 18 games without a goal. Some shit like that. That's a lot. That's crazy for a centerman. No way. So I think it's Raquel, it's Getzlaf, it's Silverberg, it's Ritchie, it's Henrique, Andre Case. I think that's all you need to look at. Defensively, Josh Manson. Got to take a look at him. Montour's cooled off a little there. Wow, it's just Josh Manson for me. That's it. So not much here to look at really for Anaheim. Jared pretty much did a decent job of telling you that already. Not much to look at. Carolina side of it, it's, you know, again with Carolina here, I think you got to look at the top line. I guess I don't know, man. According to the Daily Faceoff, whatever. I don't necessarily need to look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. Let's look at it. We want a pairing of the top six, right? Aho, Stahl, Teravainen, Williams, and Brock McGinn. I think that's where you need to look. You don't need to drop down to that third line. If you want to, let Walmark off and shoot for Jordan Martinook and Shevchnikov. That's where I would go. And they do, man. Wow, this had to be like a practice lineup that they updated here or something. This don't even look right at all when you look at Daily Faceoff. So nonetheless, we'll have to look tomorrow, confirm the lines up, take a look at them. But again, as far as forwards, Svechnikov, Stahl, Williams, McGinn, Teravainen. I listen. I like Carolina here. The more I'm looking at it, I'm on Carolina here. Dougie Hamilton at 5K still hasn't scored. We're looking for that elusive goal yet here. It's been a little bit. So he's in play. DeHaan is in play at 28. Man, what a price. Calvin DeHaan, 2,800. I like that price a lot. Justin Falk at 4,500. See, I just think there's too many plays here to overlook these guys. And like I said, both goalies are in play. I'm going to be diving into Carolina tomorrow a lot more. And not just a little bit more. A lot more, certainly. I need to get it. We need to get some plays here as we're going through here to get us off the chalk. I think Colorado's a lot of chalk. I think, you know, maybe Washington draws a little ownership. So whatever. I gotta dig into these guys a little more in Carolina. Next game up on the slate, we have the Los Angeles Kings heading into Calgary to take on the Calgary Flames. 5.5 over-under in this. Calgary is a -180 home favorite. We should have Raiders fans' boy Cal Peterson in the net for Los Angeles and Mike Smith in the net for Calgary. By the way, it does look like David Riddick definitely won the job, number one goalie job in Calgary. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we go through here. What do you like in this game, Jared?
Did you say Riddick was, or Smith was confirmed? You said before that, right?
Yeah, I think the only two goalies that were confirmed was Reimer and Smith when I looked at Left Wing Luck. I can look again if you want confirmation.
Now, I had it open, but I didn't know if you said. Yeah, I kind of see this as a sneaky game here. You know, we always look at that, like, what's like the sneaky game where we can, like you said, avoid the chalk and get some points out of it. And I think this is the game you look at here. Raiders fan will be joining the contest, I believe, tomorrow. So we know Peterson's going to be in play for him. But I don't like where he sits tomorrow. you look at here, and a couple of things that makes it good about Calgary. LA gives up. They've given up more goals to second lines. They've given up 4 goals to fourth lines and 3 goals to defensemen in the past 5 there. So, cheap play right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, for Calgary is maybe when you're looking for that last spot to fill. Look at Mark Jankowski here, 2,600, 5 points, 9 shots, 6 blocks over the last 5 games. That's your last fill spot right there, guys. Because stats are showing LA Kings can give up those goals to fourth liners. You got a guy who's given you production already at that fourth line spot. That's your play, guys. He might get you 1.5, but he might get you that goal, and you might run with a 4. And you know what? A 2,600 guy with a 4-point night, you're happy. You're ecstatic, probably. But looking at this, I'll tell you what another fact of this game is. Calgary, great team at home on the power play. Now, yes, I do know that Kings are a little more disciplined. When you look at the Kings on the road, they've only taken out 28 shorthanded times, which is by far, well, not by far, looks like, yeah, it is the bottom of least amount of penalties in the league. But I still think you run that power play tomorrow. I think you take a look at that second line for sure. So I'm running Tkachuk. Then I'm going to that first line if I want to play this way of a stack possibility. So I'm taking Tkachuk. I'm going to pair him up with Monahan and Lindholm if I wanted the 3-person stack. If you don't want the 3-person stack, I totally get it. You could probably get away with just running Tkachuk Monahan combo. Hope that Calgary can draw you that penalty, because you do look at Calgary and they are drawing 3.7 power plays a game, so they might get some action against this team. Again, I'm going to look defensively as well on the Calgary side here. And look who's starting to come up through, guys. We've said his name before, TJ Brody, coming up through 5 points in 5 games at 3,600. Great production lately. Hopefully he's found a spot. Hanifin, I mean, you got these 3 guys who give you that offensive power or offensive chance. Giordano, Brody, Hanifin. At 6,300 tomorrow, I say don't go that high in defenseman for Giordano and mark him off. I say let's keep the money at the forward position, because there's going to get a lot of – I think there's going to be a couple games where the forwards just go off, and you're going to need to spend it on that stack tomorrow. Hanifin, Brody, they're in play. They're options. You know what? Go down here. I know Mike Smith. We haven't, agreed. I'm pretty sure you're one of a couple goalies that I've played and have been yanked out of the games. So I might give Mike Smith another chance tomorrow. 8,100. I know it's a lot of cash. He's a potential play. I've seen another couple other goalies here. We just talked about Ducks Hurricanes being a good goalie play. I think that Smith's also in play here. You go to the Kings side. The Kings side, I'm just going to be honest here. If I'm doing anything, it's a one-off chance here. I'm going to look at Matt Luff on this third line, who's got 4 goals and 10 shots over the past 5 games at 2,800 on that third line. Great production. He is being, the other wing with him is Kovalchuk. So maybe that'll help him. And then on the fourth line, Austin Wagner, 2,500. If you want to take another one-off chance, Austin Wagner could be that last guy you play. I don't want any part of the defense, and I don't want any goalie for the LA Kings.
Man, let me think here, man. I don't want no Los Angeles Kings. I'm not going to play them. If I were to play them, I'll talk about them quick. Give me some Kopitar. Give me some Dustin Brown. Give me some Jeff Carter. Give me some Toffoli. That's it. Kovalchuk, he's not playing, dude. This coach doesn't like Kovalchuk. Period. He just doesn't like him. And let's face it, we need to suck it up, and we need to tell the truth about Kovalchuk. He is not the same player. Period. He's just not. Everybody wants him to be, but he's not. He's not the same player. Kopitar, Brown, Carter, Toffoli. It's the only 4 forwards I think that you would want to play. Drew Doughty, 4,600's in play. Alec Martinez, I think, would be in play. And that's it. The LA Kings are ugly, and I don't think you can play Peterson here. I think Calgary smashes LA in this game. And I really believe that Calgary smashes LA. I like Calgary to win here 5-2. Truth is this. I like Mike Smith. Shh, don't tell anyone. Okay? Wow. That was close. Now everybody's going to run out and play Mike Smith. I'm kidding. I do like Mike Smith, though. Even though he lost his job, it doesn't matter. I think he's in play here. Even if he gives up 2 goals, I still think he's in play. So, yeah, I like a little Mike Smith. But I like Calgary, man. Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan. Is it Elias or Elias Lindholm? I think it's Elias Lindholm and Elias Pettersson from Vancouver, right? I think it's Elias. So I like those 3. Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm, and my guys from this team, man, is Matty Tkachuk, Mikhail Backlund, and Sammy Bennett. I really like them. Matt Tkachuk is great. He is great. But I will tell you this, Mr. Matthew Tkachuk, something that he's also admitted openly in interviews inside the locker room. His brother Brady Chuck, little brother Brady over there in Ottawa, is the better Tkachuk, man. That's all there is to it. Brady is just better. But those 2 boys, man, what a family bloodline of hockey players that is, huh? But line 2, Calgary, you're going to see these guys all over my lineups everywhere tomorrow, man. I'm going to be trying to squeeze them in with everyone that I play. So, yeah, Tkachuk, Backlund, Bennett. Love it. I like your Jankowski call. It's interesting. So, yeah, I'll dig into him a little bit too. But, man, I really like that line too. So, yeah, that's what I'm after, man. I really like Tkachuk, Backlund, and Bennett. Defensively here, Giordano, TJ Brody. We have been talking about him lately, and I think we still keep talking about TJ Brody. Giordano 6,300. If you can fit him, man, fit him, play him. Noah Hannafin, yeah, he's scoring too. Listen, Calgary's a play here, guys. I mean, you want to get away from Colorado. You want to get away from Buffalo, Washington, maybe. Some of these heavier owned teams, come over here to Calgary. You'll find some relief. That top power play unit is beautiful. Again, we do know, like Jared mentioned already, that LA is a disciplined team, but it doesn't matter because even the disciplined teams can get pissed off and draw 4 penalties in a game. If he does draw 4 penalties, if LA draws 4 penalties, you're going to see this power play unit score. So anybody on these power plays are great plays. So with that being said, guys, it's all Calgary, man. Give me Calgary 5-2, certainly. And I think Mike Smith's in play. Last game on the slate. St. Louis Blues heading into Colorado to take on the Colorado Avalanche. We have the Avalanche is a -150 home favorite and an over-under of 6 in this game. And I'm sure you're with the chat room and everybody else on the Colorado side. But go ahead. What do you like here?
St. Louis and a 4-0 stomping. No, but boy, would that propel you to the top if you played it that way, I'm sure. Yeah, digging in. There's nothing that good that can be said about St. Louis except for those top two guys, and occasionally you get, I swear you either get multi-points from David Perron or you get no points from David Perron. You get no middle ground here. St. Louis he's given up 20 goals in the 5 games, average of 4 goals a game. And it's top 3 lines for sure. And the only goals they're not giving up to really are the defense. So, and listen, I think we all know where Colorado is defensively. You don't take them, not for points anyway. I know there's always the look at Eric Johnson, but without Tyson Barrie, I don't think you can play. You can't look for that offensive defenseman in Colorado. So I'm going to run the chalk, guys. In this one, it's hard not to run the chalk. I mean, you got McKinnon at 8,300 tomorrow, but unfortunately, the guy's in play. Rantanen at 7,600. The guy's in play. Landeskog, it's like this first line is completely in play, as is the second and third line against this team. This team just they don't survive. They're like the Browns of the NFL last year. This St. Louis team, where you wonder if the top, like the third ranked team in the NCAA can beat the Blues right now, and they might. So no Blues for me. You get Colorado. Really, Colorado has given up, what is it, 6-9, 11 goals in the last 5 games, and 3 were last game to one player named Justin's favorite player, Sidney Crosby. I mean, he was texting us in the chat yesterday how amazing Sidney Crosby was playing to get all those goals. And, no, let's just be honest. No St. Louis. Let's not even go there. Not even in a GPP play, guys. Save your quarter. Go to Aldi and use that quarter for the buggy because you're going to need it. So I think you honestly, because the cost is so much, you're going to look, is it going to be power play? Let me get you that stat real quick. Away, St. Louis, scroll to the bottom here. 3.1 penalties a game here. Yeah, it might be the power play here. So you might run McKinnon with Colin Wilson and Sam Girard. That's going to get you that first and second line, and Girard is actually the defenseman here. So it might be that. But you obviously would take a lot of chunk of change out to do that first line stack. That's why I wouldn't have any problem like doing the first, second, and the third and take a little bit of every one and run it that way. So you can get away with running like a McKinnon, a Tyson Yost, and a Carl Soderberg, a first, a second, and a third line. It would be an orthodox combination, but I think you're going to get balanced scoring from, you might get 2 goals from this Colorado top line, another goal from the second line, a goal from the third line, and an empty netter from the fourth line. I could easily see Colorado winning this one 5-0. Yeah, like we know, Jake Allen not in play, but Varlamov, he is in play. And he comes at a price of $8,400. So you want wings with these top wings of Colorado. It's going to be tough to get Varlamov too, unless you really analyze our third and fourth line picks. We're telling you that are potential plays. One of those days where you really want $60,000 in your bankroll, but you don't get it from DraftKings. But really, I hope that the invention of FanDuel teaming up with NHL gets us more, get more nights with like 6 games, 6 games, 6 game, or 7 games splits, because I think we really do the audience a favor with these 5 and 6 game slates, so we can dive a little bit deeper into stats for them than trying to pile or rush research into 10, 11 games. I mean, it really is tough, and we. Between both of us, we put a lot of dedication into looking and providing at least what we think to be valuable information.
Yeah, I would agree. Here's some valuable information for me on this game. Smart money does not play St. Louis. You play St. Louis for massive GPP desperation. You play Colorado in cash games. Double ups, triple ups, 50-50s, small tournament, like a 3-man or a 5-man tournament, some shit like that, like a winner take all. It's always Colorado. All day, every day on this slate. This kind of is Colorado. They're scoring the most goals on this slate. They're averaging 4.2 goals a game over the last 10 games. They're what, like 8 and they're like, what is it? Something crazy, right? 7-0-2 or some shit like that in their last 10 games or 9 games. I mean, like, Colorado is on fire, man. So kiss my ass, St. Louis. I'm not playing you at all. If you want to play them, O'Reilly or Tarasenko, Braden Shen, David Perron, that is it. Those 4. Colorado, you guys know as well as the rest of Hockey Nation. The top guys for Colorado, this top line is, in my opinion, right now, the very best top unit in all of hockey. And they're playing that way. Nate McKinnon, man, yeah, buddy, show me. 8,300, it's expensive, but if we're talking cash gameplay, right, we're playing them. We got to get exposure to Colorado. As much exposure as possible. Let me see here. Who's he paired up with on the power plays? I'm sure it's the top line, right? It is. Yeah. So you want some McKinnon, you're going to have to get him with Colin Wilson and Sam Girard. I believe that Jared mentioned that. So if he did, I'll reiterate it. Sam Girard scored against Pittsburgh. I'm almost certain of that. So with Colin Wilson and McKinnon, fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. I like Tyson Yost, Carl Soderberg, Eric Johnson, I believe, scored against Pittsburgh. Alexander Kerfoot. All these guys they're all in play. Because if this does actually happen to turn into a blowout, right? They'll start drawing back a little bit on the top line, getting them some rest, whatever. And they'll start letting the second, third line, fourth line guys start pick up the slack because their fourth line doesn't play a whole lot as it is. As far as that goes in the rotation. I wish I knew if they were going to get some more ice time because I'd have some interest in Andrighetto. But with that being said, Soderberg off the third line is quite interesting. Calvert off that third line is interesting. Yost, Kerfoot, and Wilson off the second line. I wouldn't mind taking a shot there. And Landeskog, McKinnon, and Rantanen are all in play. So there you go. I mean, that's what I got there. And Jared, I'm with you. Varlamov is in play defensively. Girard, Johnson, they're both in play. That's it. Actually, no. Patrick Nemeth, 3,800, man, 13 blocks over the last 5 games. Excuse me, at 2,800, that's a pretty good cash game play there too. But I do like Varlamov. He's just very expensive. It's going to do it for the 5-game slate. Jump in, play the game.
Yes, sir. Let's play this, and we probably are going to have some same picks here, I think.
Well, let me just tell you something, dude. If you're going to take my picks, I'm picking first this time.
Go ahead. You pick first.
I haven't picked first all year, man, unless I'm on a solo show.
You did good on this show.
Yeah, I never lose. I'll start with my diamond stack. We could be the same here, but I don't care anyway. Calgary, line 2. Kachuk, Backlund, Bennett. Who didn't see that coming?
Let me look for my backup. Uh, it bugs me. It really bugs me that frickin' Kuznetsov has been hurt for like 8 games now. God damn it, bring frickin' Backstrom back to the second line. But you know what? I'm taking him against this Devils team tomorrow. I honestly hope it's not Kincaid, and I hope it's Snyder tomorrow, because that's going to easily up it to being a 5-goal night for this Capitals team. So give me Vrana, Eller, Connolly, second line Washington.
I like that. It's out there a little bit. We'll see what happens. I'll give you my snowflake stack. Los Angeles line 1. Iafallo, Kopitar, Brown. You'll see why a little bit, but yeah, those guys suck. They're going to snowflake it up.
I got the St. Louis Blues first line. And that will be Sanford, O'Reilly, Tarasenko.
That would have been my second play.
Did you see Raiders?
yeah. Raiders fans already anointed Peterson to the All-Star game and all, man. Like he's up there in Oregon right now, chiseling out that statue. You know what I mean? They're chiseling it out, getting ready to put that statue up in his front yard of Cal Peterson. Oh, I like it.
Raiders fan DH Gate. They sell the best Chinese merchandise, and I think you can get a Cal Peterson jersey on the cheap.
Oh, that's too good, man. I like it though. Hey, man, you should be a fan of these young guys. These young guys need some loving too, man. But I will be honest. I am not picking Cal Peterson as my Boulder Award. Not a chance in hell. I'm taking the one, the only, Mad Mike Smith. Mad Mike Smith with the shutout for Calgary against those LA Kings and Cal Peterson. He's pissed off because he lost his job. And you go ahead and quick squirm around there and try to find yourself a Boulder Award since I took yours.
Well, first I was thinking, Boulder is a theme of, Big Rock. I was going to take a big chance and say Reimer with Buffalo, all pissed off, can't score. But I can't do it. So give me Braden Holtby on home ice against a pretty atrocious on the road New Jersey Devils team. And not to mention, if you look at the past 5 games, this Washington Capitals as a defensive team has been lights out.
Well, let me ask you this. Not that it has anything to do with DFS or not, but it sort of does because they're on the slate. And wow, look at that. Cole, exactly who I was about to bring up. He says Kane's goalie, McElhaney. Here's what I'm thinking, dude. My question to you is this. Carolina make the right move and kick in Darling over waivers?
Well, I mean, if this contract is as bad as you say, I mean, I think you do get rid of that contract. But, I mean, I'm still not impressed by Mrazek either. But you know what? Why worry about a backup goalie when McElhaney, when you look at this, he's 7-2 this year, 2.12 with a .93 save percentage. That honestly is Pecorine numbers of last year, a couple years ago when he won the Vezina. That's great. And I think they're not worried about a backup now that they've seen him playing this well.
See, I think they made the right move because if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that contract for Darling is like 4.73 a year. Now, they didn't sign that contract with him. I believe they brought him over after he had that great year in Chicago and signed the big contract there. I think is how that all worked out, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But in my opinion, it sounds like a Chicago contract, does it not? Like, that's an asinine contract. Darling, like, it was like, I'm not being a dick by saying this or nothing, but truth is this, Darling really kind of lucked out into the NHL, man. You know what I mean? It's not like he was destined to make it here. It was more of, he got hot and injuries happened, and he lucked out and making it here, and then signed a massive contract, and now the cat's riding a bus around. I just can't believe that shit, man. But whatever.
4.15 mil for 4 years, 16.5. Now, when you search Scott Darling contract, the first story written is how the contract signing might have cost 4 people their jobs.
Cole asked a question about a quick contract. I'll comment on that one. He says, where does Bobrovsky go after this year? His contract is done in Columbus. I agree. I think it's kind of well known he doesn't want to sign there. But the other question is, they also have Panarin to re-sign, and I don't think that they want Panarin either. I think Columbus would rather have Bobrovsky than Panarin, but if I'm not mistaken, Bobrovsky wasn't even drafted by Columbus. He came from Philadelphia, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And what'd Cole say? Edmonton? Yeah. Yeah. I think Edmonton. Edmonton, I think, would love to have Bobrovsky. Certainly. I think he'd be a great fit there. Financially, contract-wise, I don't know how Edmonton sets, but who's goalieing for Edmonton right now? Talbot, right?
And Talbot. And
Koskinen
is playing pretty well.
Well, Koskinen should be on a rookie contract, entry level. Talbot was signed for big money, though, right?
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, they'd have to trade him out.
Yeah. Cole says they have to get rid of Lucic.
They're not getting rid of Lucic. These are not.
Bobrovsky is going to get a contract from hell this summer, man. There's no doubt about it. Deservingly, maybe. Bobrovsky.
I tell you what, Florida. What do you think about Florida? Because you got Reimer, who's terrible. You got Luongo, that's always hurt.
And Luongo's up there in age, too, right? He's 37?
37, 38 even, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So I could see Bobrovsky down in Florida. I could see that, certainly. Edmonton would be, I think that would be a long shot, but
39.
He's 39. Wow. But I would also have to say that I think Montreal would like to see Carey Price pick it up a little bit too, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting year for head coaches and for goalies. Where we're going to see some change.
Does Big Ben pull his head out of his ass this week? Raiders fan wants to know. Let me ask you a question. I used to be a big NFL fan, not so much, so more. I do play them a little bit, but is Pittsburgh at home this week, or are they still on the road? The Steelers. Does anybody know? And then we'll get out of here.
It must be. It is. It has to be at home because it's a Sunday night game at 8:20. So it wouldn't make sense to be at LA, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. So they're at home. The answer to that is, Raiders fan, you played Roethlisberger, DFS wise, when they're at home. If they're not at home, don't play his ass, man. Forget it.
At home because this was part of that flex schedule, that this was originally a 4:25 game and they flexed at the prime time, and the stats show that like Heinz Field does not fill up at all on primetime games this year because everyone's sick of them.
Cole said it is on the road.
I am.
Yep, Cole said they're versus the Chargers on the road, so if they're on the road, man, forget it. Roethlisberger is not in play. No way in hell. You go somewhere else. Pay down. Pay down, guys. Pay down, pay down, pay down. Yeah, I don't know if you guys all. I'm not giving NFL advice here, man. At all by any means. There's way, way, way better DFS players in football out there than me, but I do not ever pay for a quarterback. They all get the same kind of stats anyway. I don't pay up there. I pay up for my running backs, man, especially on a PPR site. With that being said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Get us out there, man. Follow us on the Twitter machine. Do all that fun stuff. Joe Miner 3131, JS Miner 87, DFS Quarry on the Twitter machine. And good luck to everyone out there. Short 5-game slate. You're playing cash, play Colorado. If you're playing tournaments, get away from Colorado. Now Jared's saying it's at Heinz Field. You guys are confused. Listen, Raiders fan, if they are at home, Roethlisberger can be considered. If they are on the road, you should not play Roethlisberger.
And Melvin Gordon, from my fantasy knowledge, because I have him on my team, he's out for at least a few weeks. So you might look at Austin Eckler. I think it is for the backup running back for the Chargers.
Or just do what everybody else does. Play Todd Gurley and be done with it.
I'm not trying to bust your balls. I just keep in line for the traffic patterns on Sunday. I know not to go down to that shit because you can't get through.
Our contest tonight, and then I'm definitely going. Let me see here. Cole. Yeah, he had to be better for somebody other than me, but he. Well, we're looking. Oh, look at that! No wonder he wanted us to bring up the contest. Cole wanted us to bring up the contest because he's stomping our asses in it, man. You know what I mean? That's all right, though, Cole. It looks like we got Cole up there at 38.6. That's a good score. Now he's got some time left, too. We got Sobo Triple Deuce. Sobo 222. I'm not certain who that is.
Hey, that's my coworker.
Well, there you go. Sobo 222 is at 35.5 in second. We got the great one. I'm sure he's referring to Lemieux. He's out of players. He's 32.6. It'd be tough for him to hold that. Actually, no. It looks like he might be able to hold the money. I'm not certain he can hold the place, though. Sportsy is behind him in fourth, 31.4. And then last but not least, we got the 716 rounder. He's out of players, too. So he's done, sitting in fifth at 28.60. And as far as anybody that might appear on the DFS channel, well, not a very good showing from us.
You know what I need to do? Change my YouTube picture. Maybe that'll work for me.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, there he is. There's Ski Miner. I was going to say Yinzer's not in here, but Yinzer is in here. Yinzer got a lot of time left. Man, he must be all over to Vegas.
He is, yeah, he said.
So, yeah, looks good. Hey, there's Kevin. There's Kev. I see him in there. It's good. It's good to see everybody in here. Super Slime, I seen you joined. That's awesome. My Vic, your mouth. Very, very creative. I like it. With that being said, guys, Cole, man, what a hell of a lineup. You put together there. 38.6 points on a night like this is impressive, man. Cole 716, buddy from Buffalo. He's a Sabres fan. It's nice. Buffalo gets a lot of snow, man. Poor guys. I get up there once in a while. Once in a while I get up there. If your buddy, he's from Buffalo, I deliver to the Lowe's home improvement store up there once in a while. It is not called Buffalo, though. Man, I can't remember of it. There used to be, I used to deliver one down in the stadium, near the stadium. I believe that's Orchard Park down there. And then I, damn, this is going to piss me off. I can't remember what section of Buffalo. Amherst, New York. That's where it is. It's on the north side of Buffalo. So, yeah, I get up that way once in a while. Not so much now that I'm driving a day cab and I ain't got nowhere to sleep in the truck. So, I like that aspect of it. I don't have to sleep in the truck, but I do like the city of Buffalo, man. It's a pretty cool town to check out. I like Rochester area up there too, man. That whole section up there by the they call that the northern tier section of New York up there is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That being said, Jared, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Cole, Raiders fan. Who else was in here? Michael Vaughn. I don't know if you go by Mike. Michael, good seeing you in here again. Justin Yinzer, see you in here a good bit. That being said, guys, great show. Good luck to everyone, and we're out of here.